Yeah.
Every time we had
it's been a long
some
time ago.
events, we was
Excuse me. Can you
Very supportive of the Haitian community.
Here, and I know he was going to
He's going to stop by briefly. He has other
Okay, so you'll be here.
We are blessed to hear. It's stopped raining. So, are we all ready for the tour?
Sure.
I don't know what we are permitted, where we are permitted to enter or not, but I guess that we can start with where the fire supposedly started. Maybe we can go over there.
Sure. Want to take a look at this involved?
Yeah, I've got several things. I'm not going to make it up to Jason Thompson's gathering. I've got another commitment, but
what's amazing is that
here. Backwards, back in there, that is awesome.
Tuesday, we had an event at here, 6 to 8 o'clock. We had a gentleman from Korea who's in charge of the Korean Veterans Association. And I think we finished up the event around 8 o'clock in the evening, and we gear up and then left the building about 8:30. About an hour later, I think somebody called 911, and then we called the fire. According to Gwinnett County Fire Department investigator, that we have the storage room over there, and then all the electrical, the building, entrance to the building to that side. And they were guessing. They couldn't figure out exactly how it started, but they were just guessing that the electrical failures and whatnot. That's pretty cool. Chamber office.
Well, first of all, I'd like to introduce us our delegations and also the guests here. Okay, first we have Mr. Travis Kim, the president of the KAGA, and Mr. Roger Kim, and who's also the former president of the KAGA, and also currently right now is working as the task force of this urgent emergency situations. So he's the one who really built that old burned down locations, and his heart is really bleeding at the moment. Okay, and then also we have a delegations from the Korean Veterans Association and President Cha and their staff, and also Mr. Moon is the president of the Korean Veterans of the Vietnam War and also Korean War, and he's here, and thank you very much. And then we have the Korean Women's Business Association President Susan Park and their staff, Kira is here, and also Connie G from Asian American Resource Center, and located in Swanee at the moment. And her husband started the organization in the 70s, and then she right now running the whole organization. And also we have the president of the Korean Pastors Association, the Pastor Views is here, and thank you very much for coming out. Okay. And also we have the Korean medias, and the representation from the Korean government, from the consul office, the vice, the consul general, Mr. Yu is here, and then also the consul Kim is here to represent Korea. Okay, thank you very much for coming. And also we have PJ Pack and then also Scott Holcomb and then Peter Marie from the state representatives are here also. And Mr. Kingston, I'm sorry, okay, is here. And also we have Charlotte Nash, the chairman of the Gwinnett County. And it's probably the biggest county in Georgia, am I right?
Second.
Second. But the best place to live, right?
Oh, it is the best.
Thank you very much. And then also Sarah Hamilton, she's been working with me on an outreach, a committee to reaching out to a lot of you in here. And thank you very much for coming out here. So introduction is If I missed anyone else, please,
Andy,
let me know.
I'd like to introduce
Oh.
Susan Lee, who's
Uh-huh.
on our staff at Gwinnett County. She's here she's riding shotgun with me today.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much.
Helping
Okay.
get me where I need to go today.
Oh, I see, okay.
And Andy, I have my wife Libby, who's my
Oh,
sister.
Okay. All right, thank you. Thank you very much. All right. Okay, we'd like to get started off with showing our video presentation of the actual fire, please.
On Tuesday, May 21st, the Korean American Association of Greater Atlanta's building located on Buford Highway caught on fire. The official report says that emergency officials arrived at 9:50 p.m. Tuesday evening. Officials initially attempted to battle the blaze inside the building, but a roof collapse forced firefighters to extinguish the fire from outside. Over 40 Gwinnett County firefighters responded to the blazing fire. No one was injured during the incident. Travis Kim, president of KAGA, arrived immediately after being notified, and executive director Kenny Lee arrived shortly after. While the cause of the fire is undetermined, investigation shows it began from a storage room. As you can see, a large portion of the building was damaged where parts of the roof began to cave in. Volunteers from the community came to help recover items, digging and searching through the remains. Most of the volunteers were senior citizens who also share a large portion of the building with KAGA. Mr. Sang Ho says many of the senior citizen staff will be affected by this disaster.
우리 회원에 한 300명 돼요. 굉장히 많아요. 이 행사할 때도 한인회 행사보다 우리 노인 행사가 사람 더 많이 와요.
Damage to the building is estimated at $1 million in property loss. In addition, $500,000 worth of content were lost, including items such as expensive electronic devices, logs of important information, and rare cultural items such as the Korean traditional drum. Among the items that were recovered include textbooks, office supplies, and a few computers. For now, the KAGA building and office will be temporarily located in Norcross, Georgia, as they continue to recover from the fire.
Regularly, the Korean Consulate Office provide in replacement those traditional instruments so that senior citizens can also use it. Thank you very much for Consulate Office. Appreciate that. Okay, and then let me start off. Who we are and what we do, and and where we stand at this moment. Okay. Hi, Jace. Please have a seat. Okay, it's okay. That's Jace Brooks, the Commissioner of the Gwinnett County Commissioner of District 1. Sit here. Okay. Okay. Next. Sarah, next. Okay. Well, a lot of people think that the Korean Americans just moved in here recently, but it's not. In 1891, the first Korean arrived in Georgia was recorded here and attended at the Oxford College of Emory University. And he was the one who actually also wrote the Korean national anthems. So we've been here since 1891. Okay, probably more than what most of the people came here. But the first wave of the Korean Americans moved here. It was the 1960s. Most of them was the students, exchange students and foreign students like that. And then 70s, they started forming some organizations. Some of them did not go back to their home country. They stayed here and become American citizens. And then in it goes on, and then in the 96 Olympics is really the trigger point of a really heavy populations is moving into this area, not only the Korean Americans. I moved to here from Chicago in 2002. At that time, AJC reported over 500 people start moving in, every single day, just included everybody. So that's a really big trend of the big populations to grow so rapidly. Okay. And then we, U.S. The census indicating that from the 2000 to 2005 and 2007 here, and this, here is the, Gwinnett County and then in Georgia. And as you can see, from 2000 to 2005, the jumps are, getting, really rapidly growing. So that's how, Korean American and the community really grows so big in this area. Okay. And we did, the Korean American the census, in 2008. At the time I was involved, and we collected all the possible Korean last names in the 27 counties, and then also we purchased the renters list, and we combined it with, and then also we checked with all the major Korean churches. And then their directory, and then we come out with a median of each household. We multiply that, and we come out with about 78,000 people. And then we, using the plus minus factors, and then we probably estimating about 100,000 at that time. And also Korean Americans is as you can see, here is most of them lives in Gwinnett County, 49%. We can say about half of us, living in Gwinnett County. And then Fulton County and DeKalb and Cobb County as it goes, here. Next page, it goes at the, so we pointed out there, as you can see, that most of the Korean Americans are living in north side of the, the Metro Atlanta area, especially in Gwinnett and Fulton and Cobb County, and that in areas is the word of a lot of Korean Americans stays. And next page. Another thing is that the Korean Americans here is really growing so big because of this giant Korean companies start moving into this area. And the first company actually moved in here was the Hanjin and the Korean Airline, and then an SKC, and they built plants in Covington, Georgia, and they're manufacturer of the film products and some of the the chemicals there. And Tucson Infracore located here in Suwanee on the Satellite Boulevard. Recently they purchased the Bobcat company, and so they're become a bigger company than before. And then also that the Hyoseong located in Norcross, and they're also not only seeing the southeastern United States, but also watching out Central and South America market too. Because of Hyundai and Kia moved into Georgia and Alabama, and there are more than 40 supplier companies surrounding the borderline of the Georgia and Alabama right now. And because of these companies moving in to the Georgia and the Metro Atlanta area, and the effects, economic effects, has been really grown so much. And the recent the information released by the Georgia Economic Development Department, saying that right now is that in Georgia alone, in 2011, and then export to Korea, from Georgia to Korea, was 900 million, okay? That's the largest Georgia market to export to the Korea, okay? That's how much business is doing in Georgia and Korea. And including, and then you can see we're the first largest, the trading partner, and then also we're the second largest investor in terms of a facility and employment here, and also right now we're provide over 6,000 employees in Georgia. But if you include in Alabama, it's about more than 10,000 employees. The jobs are being created by these Korean companies in the investments, okay? And recently, last year, March 25th, and the Korea-U.S. free trade agreement was in effect. And because of that, and this is the market size is increasing tremendously, also, especially those aerospace parts is probably the biggest items to export to Korea. And then this will really accelerate more ongoing the business trade in the future. Okay, next page. All right. But not just the largest companies is contributing, but there are many small business owners, and local economy is really, pumping it up, okay? And recently here, Mall of Georgia is built, and then and because of that, Gwinnett Place Mall is really, having so much trouble to sustain the, the businesses there. That's because moved part of it. And then, next page. As you can see, over about 700, convenience stores and gas stations owned by the Korean Americans in the Metro Atlanta area. And then also the, liquor stores. And then the beauty supplies and the wholesalers. A lot of them are located in the Dorville area. Old, building there is burned down, and that's located over there. And they're the one who are really doing a lot of business here in the southeastern United States. And also the dry cleaners. And then also have 4 major, maybe 5 now, is the grocery stores. In Atlanta has the biggest, also most number of the grocery stores in the United States. It's bigger stores than in New York or LA or things like that. And that's really is interesting point. But not they're only dealing with the Korean Americans. There is multi. In the diversity market, and they're focusing on a lot of Hispanics, Vietnamese, Chinese, or Japanese, they all go to this kind of the stores right now. And also a lot of us was involved in the retail business, and there are over 2,000 of them. And we're the churchgoers. Right now it's 200, but I think it's about 300. To tell you the truth, or more. All right. So Billy Graham said in Hong Kong once, he said, Americans introduced Christianity to Korea in the early 1900s. Now the Koreans are bringing back the Christianity to the United States. We all, I bet you about 95% of us attending a church, in this room too. All right. And then also we have a lot of people are in serving and involved in the food and beverage industry. Okay. Also, we have the local community, banks, and these banks is 10,000, Korean Americans. It maybe seems not be that big. We'll have 4 of them is doing a tremendous amount of business. Why? Because all those the Korean businesses here, and they're sending the money to Korea and back and forth, and that's what make this community. The banks stays strong and doing well, and that's a big difference. And also, another Korean American association is not just here in an office and sitting here and waiting for people to come in, but most importantly, we are trying to make Korean Americans become a more, belong to the American mainstreams to act and get involved. So they're providing computer, the training courses and ESL, the English as a second language classes, the teaching English, and the citizen application classes. And these are the very, very crucial and important, the programs that KAGA is providing to make a transition to new immigrants to the mainstream America. And also another thing is that we provide some of the counseling, so legal or financial taxes, the CPAs and attorneys in volunteer time, and then do some counseling, and the medical, and also the translation and the simulation in the services. And these are the very, very crucial and important services KAGA need to provide to the Korean American community. Okay, so the place is burned down, unfortunately, but we can make this tragedy to something new and better if we work together, if we put our ideas together to find the fast solution. And that's why we're here today. And thank you very much for listening to this conversation. My heart is also not that really pleased, but when I see the burned down building, and I just couldn't stay too long, because when I smelled the burning, the smells when I went there, the first time I ever after the burn down. So, but I think the Roger Crack's, the heart, Roger Kim's heart is probably more bleeding than the mind, because he's the one actually completed that location. And thank you very much. And I turn it to Travis to ask questions or give us some of the information.
First of all, Andy, thank you very much. Let's give him a big round of applause. Thank you. standing up or the sitting down would be more convenient. But let me just go ahead and stand up. Anyway, thank you very much again for everybody to coming this morning. And as we took a tour of the facility which burned down, and I remember that you saw on the video clip that I was there watching the building burning down. It was pretty emotional. It was one of the saddest moments of my life. Being a president, serving the community, watching the community center burning down, and they can't do anything about it. And it was a difficult moment. And Roger was there, and then many of our community members were there, just watching it and couldn't do anything. Knowing that we will not be able to enter the building and use it again, it was heartbroken. Back in 1980, that I think I was told that we created the Korean American Association Building Committee to build the center or the choir center, and then finally, after 17 years later, 1997, we purchased that particular facility, and I think we raised it and paid $560,000. It took 17 years for our community to raise that money. After that, over the years, that we spent more money to renovate and to make the facility suitable for our use. And I don't know exactly how much more money we spent, but I know that we spent quite a bit more. But it's got a bit of a history. Now it's gone. However, during the recent years, that our Korean community, kind of the majority of the Korean American population, moved from a previous old Korean town to the current new Korean town, which is primarily located in Duluth, Nokkers, Lawrenceville, Suwannee, a little further up north in Gwinnett County. Now the Korean community has grown so much that for the past several years we saw the need to, relocate our community center to where it's more convenient for the majority of our Korean Americans living in Gwinnett County. Now we started to raise some more money, however it wasn't good enough. And this fire took place, and now we have no choice. We need to really focus on rebuilding our community center. Now, it used to be the Korean American Community Center. However, that we tried to expand that role of the facility, and that we wanted to make it as a Korean American Cultural Center, where not only Korean Americans do things, however, that we want to use the facility to introduce the Korean cultures to the local community members, and at the same time that we would allow the local community members to come in and enjoy our facility. I guess that the reason that we wanted to invite you all is not only let you know that what happened to our Korean American Community Center. However, we want to seek out your support and advise how we can reestablish our Korean American Cultural Center in somewhere in Gwinnett County. And basically what we are looking for is, in order to do that, we need money, we need the land, we need the building, and we have some ideas, but wanting to get some advice and some support from you folks so that how we can accomplish that. As we can see that Korean Americans has contributed a lot to the local community to grow. And I think Andy earlier mentioned that when the mainstream economy was moving out of the Gwinnett Place Mall area and moving up further north to the Mall of Georgia area and whatnot, and everybody was kind of fleeing out of this area, and then Korean Americans and other ethnic groups moved in and really help the economy to sustain and then actually grow. So we all recognize that what the Korean Americans and other minority ethnic groups can do for the local economy and the growth of the local community. So we are here seeking out your advice and support. So anybody who can reach out to our community, help us, and I think we all recognize we are a very integral part of the community. So we need to really work together. Thank you.
Any ideas there? And are you looking hopefully in District 1 somewhere? Or?
Well, that's a good question. Since you asked me, and then I'll speak on behalf of Travis and Roger and other Congress staffs, is that right now the options are all open. Whatever is the the best, for the the community. I think they will go for that. And this location is going to be only the temporary. As you can see, we cannot run a lot of different the classrooms, And since the majority of the Korean Americans lives in this area, and after probably the new committee formed, and they may do a little bit of a survey, and my prediction is going to be probably ended up in Gwinnett County, more likely in District 1 area. Yes, Pedro.
We heard when we were doing the tour, and thank you for the presentation, and some of us probably would like a copy of the PowerPoint if it's possible. There's a lot of information, great information, and I know the congressman here can use some of that. But we were at the tour, and we heard that that was your property.
Yeah.
You own the property. So when we talk about opening options, are we having invested in that property? Do we want really to keep investing in that area, or you're looking out to move, and what's going to happen with that property?
Well, that is also like I said, all the options is open. But if people wants to move the Kaga to the different location, for example, this area, yes, we probably have to. Then we have to sell the property, but we're not sure when that property going to be able to be to sell, and then we don't know the timing and everything. We just cannot wait and wait and wait.
But who will make that decision?
That's I said the committee will perform, and then we'll do the survey on the community and what they would like to do and so on like that. So that at time and the direction of the new location will be determined, and also that time, and we're seeking for whether we can get a local support or state, federal, all of the federal, state, and local to rebuild, like Travis mentioned, that not only for this the new location is going to be the Korean American community, it's going to be the Korean American Cultural Center, and that it will be open up to everyone to enjoy the Korean the cultures and so on. Okay, and then if we have the better facility, and then yes, we can conduct a more good programs, such as some of the Korean writing class, the character writing class, or some of the Korean folk dance class, things like that. So there's a few other things we want to reach out. And like I said, is that my philosophy of it is now when I came to America, when I was 15, at that time we were calling it the melting pot. United States was the melting pot. Okay, yes, that time we didn't have the communication technologies or transportation technologies good enough. But now we just in the 1990s, you're saying that America is a salad ball. Okay, we have a different ethnics, we're gonna mix here and here. But now I feel like we're living in a country where the mosaic is that we have a different colors. Each community have a different colors. If you put it together, it becomes a beautiful picture, and that's how I see it. Yes, BJ, come on.
Well, let me first say I'm deeply saddened that the Korean American Association of Georgia's building burnt down. When I heard the news, I tried to reach out to everybody that I could, and I'm personally committed that I'm going to help. I want to say a couple things. I want to really thank the elected officials here with Commissioner Brooks and Chairman Nash and Congressman Kingston. He just happened to be up in Gwinnett, and I said, you know, we're doing this tour, would you make time to do that? I know he's very busy, and thanks for coming out. I know Pedro has been a big supporter, and Scott as well, of the Korean community. Two things that I would like to recognize. I do think that it's very, very difficult to articulate what the center actually means for the Korean community. You gotta understand that all of us live in different regions, and having a center like this is very important to keep the culture. And it's very important for the second generation to remember their heritage. And that's why it's very important that we rebuild and rebuild better. And I'm so happy to see Gwinnett County, my county commissioners and leaders here. And I look forward to working with you on all that. And I know you need money, but at the same time, I do think that at this time you should reach out to our corporate partners and even the Korean government and anybody at every level to make sure that we get enough resources to rebuild. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much.
Just a minute,
Yes.
I got one. Okay, 오늘 Madam Nash and the congressman on the facility working in government, there was a mention everything, but one thing, we had under the Korean Association, we had a Korean school. At the present time, we're renting the Norcross High School, the middle school, about 30-some school classroom. So we have to support to them also. They had a class every Saturday. And then Madam Nash, I heard that somebody told me, government tell us sometimes they close up some old school, some government buildings, something tax matter you're gonna give some non-profit organization. I was wondering in Gwinnett County, he knows, everybody knows, if you had some old school, something you can use for, we can using those kind of building also.
I'll respond to that, but I'm going to make a few general comments. I'm going to broaden this a little bit, and while we're focused on the Korean American community right now, the Asian American community has been so welcoming to me since the time I was running for office the first time. And I was with some folks last week for a lunch, and they've even, some folks have decided to adopt me. They've declared me an honorary Asian American myself, and I feel a real connection. Once we get past our specific cultures, our language, that sort of thing, there's so many similarities between the traditional Korean American values and what I grew up on a farm here in Gwinnett County. Yes, I'm old enough where there actually was farming going on when I was growing up, but there's so much similarity when you get down to the basic, and we value very much the contribution that Korean Americans are making to Gwinnett County in every facet. I mean, it doesn't make a difference whether it's business or our involvement with churches, faith-based organizations, organizations that are helping members of your own community, and folks that are stepping up like BJ to be part of the leadership of the broader community. And I want to push that. I mean, I really am looking for more folks to come out of the Korean American community that are willing to step up like BJ has and serve the broader community. I am very interested in our working together to explore all the options. Because I respect you, I respect you enough to be honest with you. There are lots of limitations on what county government can do in terms of providing actual dollars, directly dollars. There are a few programs that we might be able to look at for certain types of services that the builder would be used for, but there are lots of strings attached to those because it's federal dollars. And we appreciate the federal dollars that are still coming our way. We know what a battle it is in America, but in Washington, D.C. Well, I'm going to leave that to the people that have been elected to make those decisions, but as long as they're there, I'm going to be reaching for a share of Gwinnett County. How about that? But anyway, there are a few areas that we might look at, depending on. I need specific information about the types of services. In terms, I'm going to answer your question now, Cookie, exactly about schools. Jason and I don't have control of school buildings. That's the Board of Education, but we can put you in touch with the right folks to talk about those kind of buildings. I suspect they have very few that are ready to be closed down because the school system continues to add students, but they may have some. I mean, they may have information that I'm not privy to, so we can put you in touch to talk with the right people about the school. But we don't have to be bound by a building that's a school building. I mean, they're broader. There are other buildings that can accommodate that kind of service. It doesn't have to be just a former school building. Capital campaign, I don't mind helping approach the businesses in the community in terms of a capital campaign and work with you along those lines. So I hear what you're saying, and I think we've got to put our heads together.
Yes.
We can't. There's not going to be one single way to make this work. I think we've got to explore a whole lot of different options. Mm-hmm. But the more information that you can give me about the specific services and how you're thinking that would be structured, because every dollar we pull out of one of these, for example, community development block grant money, there might be some way of using some of that, but there are lots of strings that come with it, and I'll give you an example of what happens. We use community development block grant money to build a senior services building. We can't use that senior services building for anything besides senior services. So the seniors go home, they typically aren't there in the evenings. There are lots of ways we could use that building, but we violate what we agreed to with the federal government if we allow it to be used for other purposes. Mm-hmm. So we've got to be careful that we look at what the future impacts will be, even for those kind of dollars, if we can identify them. Okay. But what I'm saying to you is I am willing to spend time and energy to explore different options with the community.
Yeah.
I appreciate the opportunity to come here, and Madam Chairman, I'll see what we can do with you. I don't know offhand of any federal programs for this. However, the CBDG, the Community Development Block Grant, is a federal program, and we may be able to work with you on some of the flexibility, changing that.
That'd be great.
And also, they're under the chopping block, but there are a lot of things, and with the key word that you're going to make this more of a museum, cultural center, and a classroom. I think that could be an angle. But I, sat through the presentation, and I agree with Pedro. I'd really like a copy of it. But there's such a huge economic impact of the Korean community in our state that I think corporations from outside the state would want to donate to this. So my thinking is, and I'm in the fundraising business for politics right now. I'm running for Saxby Chambliss' seat. He's retiring, and I'm looking at my own fundraising. I wish I had your story, though. I can raise a lot of money because you look at the car companies, the banks, the restaurants, everybody should have a part of this. And I'm on the Defense Committee in Congress. South Korea is one of our absolute greatest and most important allies right now in the Pacific Rim. So it is in everybody's interest to make sure that this grows and that this community thrives. And be happy to do my part however you feel like I can fit in.
I think it's, I guess, exterior, and the right side is the interior building. We Korean Americans, prior to the fire, we had the dream. Some of us called it Dream Palace. That we thought that our community has grown so much, and then looking into next 20, 30 years out, that we need a Korean American cultural center looking like that. It's sitting on maybe a 10-acre, at least 5-acre plus land, and then with the beautiful building with a lot of multifunctional features inside, including the indoor gymnasium and maybe multiple cultural exhibition rooms and offices and so on.
that's what we were aiming for. Because you know, when we build our Korean American Cultural Center, we cannot build it just suitable for the current time. We need to look into the future, 10, 20, 30 years out. Make sure that you know, the facility that we are building now will accommodate the growth that we anticipate in the future. So, as far as, I think at the time we were looking at the budget of minimum of $5 million to do what we need to do. $5 to $10 million, depends on the location and how expensive the land would be at the time. Our current financial situation is we are getting about $500,000 roughly from the insurance company, and we still have the 3.5 acre land on that site. We anticipate to raise under the current market situation anywhere from $500,000 to $1 million. We may get lucky and get the $1 million out of it. So we are looking at combined about a $1 million to $1.5 million asset that can be turned into a cash sometime in the near future. At the same time that we have raised money, we are sitting on hopefully close to $200,000 and hoping to raise maybe up to $500,000 by the end of the year. We are just hoping that if we reach that goal within our community, raising the money, then we'll be sitting approximately $1.5 to $2 million, hopefully beginning of next year. That's where we are standing financially at this point. We are far away from purchasing something like that or building something like that. However, I think because we don't have the permanent facility that can at least work out and spend the next several years to raise the money that we need. I think we need to probably purchase or build something within the $2 to $3 million budget. However, if we are given some sort of monetary support, even if we have to, I guess, expand our programs and activities to be able to get some sort of government grant. One example, recently I attended the worldwide Korean Community Leaders Convention in Seoul, Korea, and one success story that was told by the president of the Korean American Association of Houston. They received $500,000 from HUD, H-U-D, and they built the community center, but it was not only for the Korean American communities, but all the other Asian communities or the local communities to utilize the facility. So, you know, the programs
that's probably a community. It's probably a community development block grant. That's through HUD.
Right. So something like that. We are open-minded and then to cater to the programs and activities that we need to conduct out of that facility in order to receive those grants. So, you know, just give us some ideas and advice, then we'll try to work with you guys. Thank you.
Only thing I said, thank you very much. Come here, help us, Ms. Nash and Pedro, all other people. And then this is my opinion. We need that community center build fast. So that's why we need go to serving everybody. I hope it's built within 2 years. And I think our community help us a little bit. We will do it. We have, like Travis says, almost $1 million is ready to use it right now. So I believe that is not hard to do. It's going to be a lot of Korean community. I got phone call. They will help us. So since we have fire, we raised about $35,000 so far already in cash. So I believe we started fundraising, then I believe this is like not, not like a take a long time. So first the fundraiser, we have purchased that community center. It was take it's about 17 years, but like ironically, we've been used that community center almost 17 years. We purchased that 1997, and then we got fired this year, May. So there is 16 and a half years we've been using. So there is 17 years, close, So we start with the community center, so it's not going to be hard to fundraise. So it is like that project. It takes about $5 million. But it is hard to raise that money in a short period. We should have, in my opinion, have another community center for temporary, and then we, improve some other, community center.
Thank you very much.
It's easier to, to get the community center. Thank you.
All I can say for a moment is I will do my best to support my compatriots, my community. So I think it's very, very important. You have to build up the project very tangible and detailed. Government officials, same in Korea. We call them paperman. So you have to give me this paper, very, very detailed, with your project, very detailed but tangible project. So as you see, I will stay here in Atlanta with you at least 3 years. So we can going together, to make this project maybe a great help for our community. Thank you.
Thank you.